My third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi everybody, Weather Guy here, and we are back with some more Ace Attorney. Hope you're doing awesome. I'm feeling pretty good. It's actually really late here, but I gotta get some playtime in again. Oh, goodness. Let's see. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? My son's belly's empty. He's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police, we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, I became a ruined man in a trice. Worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Ryunosuke shop owner's existence. Now, reminder, by the way, of where we're at in the story. We found a golden coin hidden under a stake, and we believe that it's a shop owner's coin, so we've called both of these folks back in for funsies. Be that as it may, Karakura-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Ryunosuke memory serves, have you ever... Wow! Yes, that's it! That's the one, the very exact one that it is! The resplendent, splendiferous, white treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously? Sorry, that's too extra, I think. Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing? You know, the pacing of the way I'm doing is talking a little bit. It reminds me of a Dalek from Doctor Who, the Exterminate. Gosh, they're hilarious, dude. Excuse me, could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hasanaga. I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. That's why you were sent in undercover, isn't it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Kaban incident is the work of the same thief. Unbeknownst to us, there is a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Karakura-san's Kaban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is this despicable scoundrel that stole Karakura-san's Kaban and hid it under the steak? Well, I think the most likely would be the person that was also sitting at the table. So I'm gonna try this. That! Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Ayasanosa! What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that kaban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido! Ido is the mastermind behind all this. Dude, I love the music cues with each frame changing in the different characters. Gosh, that was hard for me to get out. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa! Yeah. Oh no. Oh! Ah! Clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap, clip. Oh my god. Holy hell. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Ayasanosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Alright. Who's gonna confess? Jesus, that poor baby. Do any of you know, with extraordinarily low wages, the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts took place. I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son! That's why you are stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money! Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time! Dude. This game is so over the top. I mean, I've been playing Return to Monkey Island also, so I don't really have room to talk. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even. Which is worryingly believable. Your target that day was the old man in his kaban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Great, that solves that little mystery. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Holmes Brett? Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Sure. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, your excellency? Indeed. The theft of the kaban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant, who would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. Sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, it's pure madness. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. She definitely did it. I can't believe they're letting her go after she clearly just destroyed the incriminating evidence. It's the worst. Oh, he's getting an idea. He's about to have a frickin' Jimmy Neutron brain blast. Ryu, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's
Something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. Can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere, something to add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Sorry? You think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. So right.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett! What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? Contradiction.
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryu? I don't think it's this one. That seems fine. What? What is it?
I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel.
I think it's gonna be something with the stake.
If Mrs. Brett's words are truly are contradictory, where's the evidence to prove it?
Look at this some more. Ah, look at the knife. The knife had been used.
Take that!
The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred?
What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table.
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're splitting hairs! Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? Oh yeah, look at it. It's bite marks. Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? Extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. See, you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and eating and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. Those are bite marks, baby. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks here. Huh.
Oh!
Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all!
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help her whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryu, do you know where you're going with this?
I love that.
No, I have no idea what I'm doing. Yes, now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had all allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. Most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all. Woo shot Dictor. Oh man. Oh, no, not that. Not Dictor Wilson, Dr. Wilson. Sometimes I flub. Sorry, y'all.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency. Perfect. Everything? Yeah, 42. Papa John's. Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been what? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
You need to find the gun. Or the poison, rather. Both. Well, we found the poison, but we need to find the gun that she still shot him with. Yeah. This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there is someone who does have it somewhere in this very courtroom. If that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request as the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
I don't think it's going to be... Oh god, I actually don't really know. Man. See, what gets me about this is Ryu said that the person had to be willing to submit, so I don't think it would be her, but who else could it be? You know? Could be his teeth, right? I'm gonna try her.
Take that!
Counsel,
I'm disappointed. Aww. Oh, we were wrong. Oh no. Now we've come in this far, there's nothing more to say. There's one person in particular who's provided us with various pieces of evidence already. We have plenty of clues that point to the right answer. This is the last act in this trial, and you have center stage, Ryu. I think it might be the waiter. He has a lot of evidence.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Asanaga. What? I have it. Yes. You think I've been... Oh, I wonder if it's the nosebleed. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. Because we haven't gotten any closure on that, and if this is the end of the trial, we're not going to get closure, so we have to get closure on it. That means something to do with it. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks.
yes?
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korokuda-san's coin, he told us that he'd slipped it under the steak. You watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under back to your own steak? Gene, sure. Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial and Nippon Army, but still. I thought we sort of already established this. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. Come on. You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. He decided to investigate my slab of meat. That'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders.
So, when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance.
Lovely. I think we solved it.
With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. So true. It was do or die, I tell ya. And yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable! Dude, this prosecutor's such a dick.
However, if you're not prosecutor son,
Shut up. No way. Do they... I'm sorry, but do you all really say that? Not a thing. That sounds kind of silly. I don't know. What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hasanaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. But to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah! That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. Oh yeah, look at that pose. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest.
I believe the defendant's memory serves him well.
And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Present the beefsteak. Incredible. Incredible writing, no notes. Dude, that's one of my favorite poses so far. That's the inspector with the fist. It's so good. So good. Sorry for keeping you. There's the blood. Here's the other steak in its plate. Please feel free to examine it. Sure enough. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plates shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Ryu to have shot the victim. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. Oh, that's so powerful. Oh, it's you. Oh. Not done by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No! Oh boy. Oh no. Yeah! Little chickies popping out. Oh my god, what is this? Did you just die? This game is so whack. Look at all the chickens. Little chicks. Little baby ducks. I don't know why I'm calling them chickens. They came out of a swan. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. Alright, here we go. We're getting the full reveal, right? It was I who took the professor's life, using Curer. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Curer is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. Leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
Plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Curer in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt? So I was right. There were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. A place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang! Sorry. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun? Even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruto was the culprit and I apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. It's all explained. Except for the inspector's bloody nose cough thing. He's dying. So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency,
Yes?
I wonder, might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. What? I hope you can forgive me. He just gets to leave? What is this? What?
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Ouchie does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. For you? Yes? This insult to the Ouchie family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. Look at Ryu over there. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Wow, I'm slashing there because I'm going to Great Britain. That's so dangerous. Why would you do that? 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchie clan will never measure up to the Naruto clan. Great.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our own country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryu, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma.
Yes.
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind.
As for you, Ryu,
Yes?
in you I sense, how can I put it, kind of, a little bit of like a bitch boy. I don't know. You're kind of like really, you're very beta. Sorry, that was the worst thing I feel like I've ever said in my life. Unusual potential is what I meant. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. You did it. Oh, why you get out of my face? It's too close.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryu, not guilty. Confetti! Confetti for court cases!
Why is there... Who is cheering?
This court is now adjourned.
Fantastic. We did it, guys. We have officially lawyered up. Man, I'm never going to remember these dates and how far apart events are. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ryu!
You finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
Ha 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 ha!
No. It's a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yuma University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Who is this? I wish I could see the picture before I did the voice. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruto-san's innocence. Not the girl voice. Our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Oh, thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be from my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Yes, of course. Get me for intruding on court. Oh, right. No. I'm not gonna do all that. We already saw these. I don't have to voice the flashbacks too, do I? Speaking of Mikitoba. Oh, there you are. Oh, I believe congratulations are in order. You did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed a true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikitoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? Never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Sogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Sogi clan. A sword. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. The Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And I have the power of God and anime on my side. So everything's gonna go great. And cuts down anything that's in my way. So I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? Giselle Bretz, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that. What? Why not? A matter of consular and jurisdiction. Listener. Inspector Asanaga? It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But that's not... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. Why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty. The Friendship. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They are obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming. We're the ones driving it. We do it? Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. I got yoo-hoos. Oh, Professor? You're right, this is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Rio's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hasanaga-san, aren't you? I'm still dying. I'll cough all over your food all day. Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. Do we do it? So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ria. I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. Really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Rio. You know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win. Gold bandanas? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. Believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. No matter what. No matter how insane the evidence looks. No matter how guilty your client appears to be. You gotta just believe them. Sometimes in the courtroom you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, and even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. takes a special kind of person. I'm not trying to just pat my own back here. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to sniff my own farts. I'm believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I believed in you the whole time. I'm so great. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. This had nothing to do with believing in you, Kazuma. You're so self-centered. Who gives a fuck about your trip to Great Britain, dude? Who gives a fuck about believing in you when we're the ones lawyering? You didn't do anything. You just said, Ryu, you better do some shit. The trial's about to be over. You better have a fucking brain blast, Ryu. Jesus, I love Ryu. I mean, I love Kazuma, but like, he's so... I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting too much onto it, but Kazuma feels so like, look at me, I'm so great, da 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 da, sort of. You know what I mean? He thinks it's all about him. There's something I want to ask you, actually, for you. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Asanaga! I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go! Thank you, we'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory! And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget! How could I forget? Yes, that too. Oh my god. Alright. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikitoba, Sasada-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Asanaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. End. Alright, we beat the game. We did it. Roll credits, the series is over. Obviously. We're gonna save. And this is where we're gonna end it. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I had fun today. My voice is dying. I need to go to sleep. But Jesus. I think this is the series that I'm getting most like, oh, what's the word? Invested in isn't quite the right word, but like I'm getting the most from a commentator, let's player perspective. I'm getting the most animated and into it, and I'm having a blast because I'm talking the whole freaking time, doing all these freaking characters, and it's so fun. And the dialogue in this game is funny, and the animations that they choose to do a lot of the time are hilarious. The cases, so far, actually we only had one case, but the case was bananas. The little ducklings everywhere was crazy. The baby on the back of the sergeant was crazy. The prosecutor, Ouchie, was bananas. And yeah, I'm just having so much fun. I can't wait to see what the next case is like. Game isn't too challenging yet or anything, but I'm having so much fun with it. You know what I mean? Having a total blast. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. The first case is now complete. Let's go. Like, comment, share. You don't have to share. Subscribe. Man, if you share this with somebody, I would be amazed, right? Because I don't know, it would just be very funny to me. Um, but I don't expect that at all. Um, I forget that people say share on their videos at the end for their call offs, sign offs, whatever, and it slipped out. And I was like, share? I'd never say share. But subscribe, especially if you're new here. I mean, you gotta subscribe. I have new videos every day. Yeah, that's all. Make sure you take care of yourself and make sure you take care of others. See you next time. Peace out.